Disclaimer, this was originally all going to be one large video, but then Vegas crashed and deleted the project while I was most of the way through, so I'm splitting it into two as it'll be easier if copyright becomes an issue. On with the video. Turns out this is going to be my 50th video on this site, 49th if you don't count videos that were taken down, and to celebrate I thought I'd make a nice top 10 video about my favourite anime OSTs. I guess I should outline some rules. Must be a series I've seen, as placement of music is also quite an important factor. The music must be original for the series, so previously made songs don't count towards my impression of the soundtrack. I'll be judging these soundtracks based on the quality and variety of their music and how well they're inserted into the series, and not recognizability, as I could easily point out how the background music here is Tsuteki Mappo from Bakemonogatari, but familiarity won't prevent me from not putting it on the list. The music behind the OPs and EDs to the respective shows won't count, they are typically made for higher quality than the rest of the soundtrack. I'm also only going to be talking about OSTs from series, no movies, because we all know this would end with number 1 being Your Name. Your Name is the best soundtrack of all time because fracking Radwimps. They also did an English version. I don't think I've mentioned that at any point ever. Dreamland, fracking lit. Zen Zen Sensei, fracking lit. Catharsis, it's not even on the Your Name soundtrack, but it's by Radwimps, so it fucking counts. I'm not going to do that because I want some originality for this list. It's been 50 videos and only now do I start trying to be original. I never thought I'd see the day. Before, let's have a mixtape of honourable mentions. I should mention I know fuck all about music theory, so all I'm going on is what I think sounds good. If I ever say something that sounds borderline intelligent, then I should say that most of my analysis has been taken from a series of videos by a Spanish YouTuber by the name of Jaime Altozano. Not all of his videos have English subtitles, but a knowledge of the series he's talking about and a comprehensive school level of Spanish should allow you to understand his bit, and they're decent videos, so I'll link him in the description. We good? We good. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood being low down on one of my lists. Who are you and what have you done with the real otaku without ideas? Lower your pitchforks, dear viewers. Let me explain this uncharacteristically low placement of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Brotherhood's 60-plus episode run means that certain tracks get repeated often. This doesn't take away from the fact that the orchestral soundtrack always sounds badass. Each piece sends out a sense that shit is going down, or a nice little indication that it's time to cry your eyes out. Or both. Quite often it's both. The main reason it's so low is the fact that the OST can't form its own identity as easily, considering how sodding good every other aspect of the show is. The music is placed perfectly, but our attention is rarely on the music. It's on the show. But having one of the best orchestral soundtracks of all time is no easy feat, and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood will likely scratch your itch if your fetish is a string section larger than New England. However, I have one of those pesky opinion things, so orchestral soundtracks don't do it for me as much as others. Wait, so I can talk about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood now without saying it's superior to every other anime? I did not know I could do that. Death Note is all about two sides to every coin. God versus man, justice versus peace, and nowhere is this more apparent than in the music, because on one hand you have choirs going mental at everything that happens in a way that makes me really hungry for some crisps, but on the other hand you have understated guitar pieces for characters like L, which is the perfect way to underscore some fucker who looks like Suyu's edgelord cousin playing with his food and talking about how everyone around him is a dumbass. Re-listening to anything on this OST will have you remember that scene. And this applies to any song. This OST can be so overdramatic it's sometimes hard to take seriously, but it wouldn't be Death Note without it. Now let's move on before I'm forced to make a joke about the Netflix movie. wouldn't you look at that? I'm begrudgingly talking about Fairy Tail again. That didn't take long. Yeah, Fairy Tail has a pretty dank soundtrack that covers a pretty wide range of fields. So firstly, let's talk about the badass side of this OST, which is pretty extensive, from Urza's theme, which sends goosebumps through me every time I hear it. We also have the main theme, which has both the action-oriented version, but also slows down with violin and piano versions, which when paired with certainty, can force a tear out of me when they want to. But it's got to have more variety than just the main theme, otherwise I would have considered Elfen Lied for this list. Thankfully, we also have character themes, like the respective songs for Lucy and Happy, which have a nice folk vibe around them, which really immerse you in the world. Despite the great range of songs on display, Fairy Tail ranks low on the list because its 100+ episode run means the tracks are repeated a bit too much, apart from the aforementioned character themes, which use less and less the series progressive. So until next time I talk about you, Fairy Tail, I'm still gonna begrudgingly like you. I think that's called Stockholm Syndrome. I'm going to talk about a soundtrack to a Shinichiro Watanabe show that was composed by Yoko Kanno. Nope, not the one that you're thinking, you know, the 90s one with the jazz, that comes later. For now, I'm going to talk about the other one they did together. Wait, they did another one together? Shit, I need to watch that one. No, the other one. Yeah, that's it. It's become a common observation that Mappa don't know how to do a good second half. They start a show, then about halfway through they drop the ball a bit and finish with an okay show of a diminishing fanbase. However, one thing that was never dropped with Zankyou no Terror was the music. And this is something that isn't that surprising with the combination of one of the best composers working in anime and a director who knows exactly what to do with those compositions. The OST takes inspiration from Icelandic music, surprisingly. Maybe I just don't see the connection between urban terrorism and Icelandic music, but I'm not gonna complain. The calm nature of the music contradicts the chaotic nature of the events going on around the characters, slowing down the action to feel weirdly placid. With Zankyou no Terror's decline in quality in the later episodes, it means that the quality of the music gets to shine through. Scenes are all given a sense of identity of the music backing them up, like the bike scene, which in my opinion is shut the fuck up, Lisa, you're not important. It's an OST which almost lets us forget where the show falls short. Although it won't make us forget the English.
Shut up!
No one's forgetting that. When Madoka Magica revealed that it was not in fact a cute Mahou shoujo show, but in fact Monogatari with a nice pinch of suffering thrown in, many were surprised. Now, if you watch the series after its 2011 run, you start to notice there's one thing that's always unfitting of a typical magical girl show, even before episode 3. And that was, you guessed it, the soundtrack. One listen to this indicates that the girls' problems aren't going to be solved in one episode before they all bugger off home and eat cake. The amount of shit going on with each piece tells you exactly what the series is about, and it's reminding you that hope is fleeting and you better watch your head. Mammy jokes never get old. One of the things that Altozano mentioned about Madoka is that the soundtrack has many different instruments within one song, and each one of the songs comes from a different genre. One of the main themes, Sis Pola Magica, is written in a language created by series composer Yuki Kaijura. Now, some would argue that juggling so many styles would fail to give the soundtrack an identity, but I'd say that part of the allure of Madoka is the unpredictability of it all, and so the multitude of styles actually complements the series, from the grand nature of Mami's theme to the spine-chilling nature of Nux Paul Prugus. All of it interests me, but one track that raises my eyebrows is this electronic remix for the opening that's played during the arcade scene, as we see Kyoko playing a game called Dog Drug Reinforcement. Okay. Now, the colour of Kyoko's hair is red. Red. Red Army. Russia. This isn't electronic. It's hard bass. Forget politics. We need to investigate anime for Russian involvement.